Okay, again, thank you and welcome to joining us today. Thank you for taking this time. We know this is a little bit early for the day here for us in Asia. Um, in any case, thank you again for joining us. In today's webinar, we'll be going through the Brivo cloud-based security platform and products. Brivo is one of the original pioneers in this space, and with over 20 years of experience, they have created some very interesting products and solutions, which I'm sure you'll find interesting. Presenting today's webinar is Jonathan Polan, who is the Senior Director of Business Development for Brivo. Jonathan has a great presentation for us here today, and I'm sure you will enjoy it. Questions, as you know, are very much welcome. You'll find a Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. If a question comes up, simply fill up your question there in the box, and we'll address it towards the end. Also, for information, this will be recorded, and we'll be sharing the link and the recording with everybody who has RSVP'd. And you can, again, consume it at your leisure or share it with your colleagues. So with that behind us, Jonathan, I'm going to pass the screen to you.
Sounds great. Thank you, Ron. You can see my screen? I'm good to go?
Yes, you're good to go.
Great. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much, Ron, for the very nice introduction. Good morning, everyone. As Ron said, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today for this presentation on Brivo. The topics we'll go through today. So we'll do a little introduction of Brivo, who we are as a company and our philosophy. We'll talk about our platform, Brivo Access, the features and benefits of the platform. We'll talk a little bit about the hardware that Brivo has, and then we'll talk about our approach to our API and our integrations. And then we'll go through just a brief demo of the Brivo platform to give you a sense of how we operate and what our software does. So this is who we are in the marketplace. This is how we choose to represent ourselves. There's a lot of competitive products. We'll never denigrate any competition in any way, but this is who we are. We provide you the innovation that you need with the experience that you trust, both of those things. We are neither a legacy platform moving to the cloud, nor are we a new company that's moving to the cloud. We have, in fact, done this for a very long time. As Ron mentioned, we view ourselves as the leaders in cloud-based access control and associated hosted video surveillance. We have built this up since 2002. Our CEO is still with us. He's one of 4 founders of the company and is just as passionate today as he was when the company was first started. So he felt that the cloud was going to be the most efficient way to do this. We've, again, been running this since 2002. And a lot has changed since then. We've built a very scalable platform. So 25 million users all around the world. We're deployed in 43 countries and a very, very growing, rapidly growing company. So we pride ourselves again on innovation, constantly innovating. With our cloud-based platform, we're looking to develop new features and new ways of doing business all the time. So you can see here, we started out in 2002, the first ones to do this, and we developed along the way our API, integrations with video, wireless locks, telephone entry, mobile credentials, all kinds of things to really lead the way and lead the industry as it pertains to cloud-based access control and access control in general. So the move to the cloud is on, and this, as we says here, is what we solve. So the market is projected to grow, and the reasons for that are several. So our product and the cloud in general is hassle-free for IT. So you can see here that leaders say that the greatest challenge that they face is finding personnel to manage the burdens that come with IT. We at Brivo see 2 main trends when it comes to cloud-based security. The first is that IT and security are becoming closer and closer together. And the second is that IT and the cloud are becoming one. So in the United States, one example that we often use is Amazon Web Services signing a $600 million deal with the CIA to house intelligence data in the cloud. And if data that's that sensitive is housed in the cloud, obviously there's a feeling that it's more cyber secure and much more efficient. Our CEO likes to say there's no rational reason to believe, as these trends take hold, that the access control server will be the last remaining server appliance in the server closet. It just doesn't make any rational sense for a variety of reasons. This is the way it's all headed. And we've been, again, we've been preparing for this for a long time, and we're here to deliver value. And as it says there, we do this in a very, very cyber secure way. We're aware that there's a perception that on-premise appliances are more cyber secure we believe that the opposite is true, that the cloud is more cyber secure. We are the ones scaling the cybersecurity efforts. We are the ones deploying the patches. We go to meetings and we'll ask, potential customers who has deployed the latest patch at that on-premise appliance. And often the response is, we don't know. We are taking that away. We are always deploying the latest patches because we are running a highly cyber secure and scalable cloud that is serving that. So this is who we are as a company. Our products are simple. We're simply better security. The products are simple to buy and to use and to learn. We do it better, and we do it again in a very secure way, both from a technology standpoint and the people, the way we manage our operations and the people that work in our operations. We have a commitment to service that is second to none in the industry. My colleagues in customer care get consistently rates in the high 90s, both from partners and end users. As I mentioned before, our hardware was built for the cloud. We have been doing this for a very long time. We are constantly innovating on our software, constantly innovating on our hardware. And we view this, we use the word a lot, future-proof. So we have, and I'll talk about a little bit later, a very open, very accessible API and a very flexible platform, both from a hardware perspective in terms of integrations with different reader types, different wireless locks, and then from a software perspective, whether it's integrating, LDAP systems that are managing employees, or whether it's integrating a co-working software or, some other kind of software built for a specific industry. With Brivo, you know that you're the foundation, and whether it's pulling data out of the system to have that go to another piece of software or to put data back into the system, the pipes are there to do that. And they're very easy to use because that's the way we make it, because that's part of our philosophy. So for the first probably 10 to maybe 15 years of the company's existence, we were really, as we mentioned, before, the cloud was much more new, but we've been doing this since then. We were covering, 2-door projects and 4-door projects. That has since changed, since the change or the changes in the industry that I've mentioned, both in IT and security, have taken place. Now we're covering all kinds of markets. So still, small businesses are great. Enterprises, multi-site, is a big one for us. We have a large retailer in the United States. We have 1,100 sites covered by Brivo. We were able to do that deployment in under 60 days because we have plug and play controllers that are deployed, sync up to the cloud, and then you are simply covered right away. So we've got all kinds of industries there, from commercial offices all the way down to finance, religious institutions, and everything you see there. So really a wide array of types of facilities and also industries as well that we cover. So this is a high-level topography of Brivo. And I think what is notable for what's here, or just as notable as what's here, is what's not here. So I often get asked, is that it? There's no server, there's no operating system, there's no appliance. We'll go into this a little bit more when I go into the software, but really we have the panel. The panel connects the Brivo cloud to the reader, takes the signal from the credential, and that's it. There is no network architecture. There's no static IPs. The panel simply goes in, connects via port 443 to the Brivo cloud, and you're up and running right away. We do have video surveillance as well with our cloud-based partners, Eagle Eye Networks. So we have an integrated system with video that means at the highest level, if somebody came in yesterday at 5 o'clock, you can immediately pull a video clip of their entrance so that you can get the entire piece of the puzzle, the access control and the video together. So these are the applications. We have 3 applications, one that can be used on any computer or tablet anytime. We have a mobile application both for administrators of the system that allow you to do things as an administrator, and a mobile pass credential as well that allows users to get in. So this replaces cards and fobs as a credential type. So this, as I mentioned before, is Brivo Access. This is a very interesting and exciting time for Brivo. We call it our 4th generation building security platform. We've been doing this for 20 years. We've gone through a number of different iterations. We have just relaunched everything literally over the last 6 months. We've gotten feedback over the years that there's so much data in Brivo On Air, which was our previous platform, a very strong product, but this is much ahead of that. And what we've tried to do is take that feedback, both from a user interface perspective and from a data perspective, in order to make that data much more usable to customers and partners. So you can see here, you can get a little bit of a sense. You've got here a global view, a GSOC-like type functionality, the ability to see all your devices from anywhere, to see trends in the data. And I'll go through this a little bit more when we get to the software, but we've really made that data a lot more easy to use and a lot more easy to make decisions with, and to make it much more actionable. The first mobile application, as I mentioned before, is Brivo mobile application. So this is the administrator application. So again, mobile first. From anywhere in the world, anytime, you can have your phone and do an awful lot within your system. You can see what events are going through. You can immediately pull video associated with an event. If you are in the United States and you need to let somebody in Singapore, or move them out of an organization, you can immediately go and give them a mobile pass, or you can remove them from an organization if they need to be removed. You can also unlock doors. You can lock down a system. All of these types of things are things you can do with the Brivo mobile app. Second application, again, is Brivo Mobile Pass. So this is great for visitors. It's great for permanent employees. It replaces cards and fobs. A very convenient way to do things, particularly for visitors and contractors. If I'm looking to invite somebody to come to my space for a temporary time to, let's say, do some work or do a repair for 2 hours, it's tough to find a better way than to do something like this. You give them, you don't even have to physically be in touch with them. You give them an invitation to the mobile application. They get it. They come in, they do their work, and then you revoke the pass, and that's it. The pass it can work with existing readers, or it can work with the Brivo reader that's pictured here. If you use the Brivo reader, there's a Bluetooth connection that gives it a local connection, a little bit of a better experience, but it works in a variety of ways. Very convenient and very strong functionality for access for visitors, contractors, and permanent employees alike. As I mentioned before, our philosophy as a company, as an organization, so we have a sister company called Eagle Eye Networks. We have the same owner, we're two separate companies, but we work very, very closely together. And our philosophy as an overall organization, access control can stand on its own, video can stand on its own, but they're better together when needed and when possible. So again, if somebody came in yesterday at 5 o'clock, you can immediately pull that video clip of them having come in, and it gives you the full picture of what's going on, whether it was somebody using the correct credential, what they were doing at the time. All of those kinds of things can be done with the video integration. Moving on to the hardware here. So we have 3 types of panels. Again, and the theme here is simplicity and flexibility. So we have the ACS 6000. This is a centralized model. So if you have existing readers that are in place at a site, the readers will wire back to the center here. You have the primary motherboard here that controls the first 2, and then you expand and expand and expand. Each expansion door board controls an additional 2 access points. They control 30, then you simply put in a new motherboard and continue. Everything is unlimited. Another type of panel, and these are completely interchangeable, they can be used together, is the ACS 300. This one goes at the edge. So, the way our approach to it is access control anywhere. So you put the ACS 300 in the ceiling, in the wall, next to a door, wherever you feel that it needs to go. The ACS 300 is connected. It's PoE. It can power 1 or 2 12-volt strikes, and it goes in and provides that access. So again, for multi-site applications, if you have a few doors at each site, you have 50 sites, 100 sites, you can deploy an ACS 300 in each place, and you have your access control up and running very quickly. The third type of panel is the ACS 100 that comes in different models, black and white, keypad, mullion, and single gang. This is the next evolution in our eyes. So it's bringing the panel and the reader into one. So you deploy this next to the door, connect it to the wired strike, and that's it. You're done. You're up and running. And then the last piece I'll talk about here before we move to the software is our API. So as I mentioned before, our philosophy is that Brivo is a platform, a totally open platform. You can access our API if you're curious at developer.brivo.com. And what I've got here is just a few of the examples of the out-of-the-box type integrations that we have. We have over 1,000 developers, both end user customers developing custom solutions for themselves. We have partners, software partners, integrators that are developing also. But the key, again, to remember is the flexibility of this platform. So this is an example. This is a telephone entry system called 2N. And the API allows a sync between workers in an office and the two-end visitor system. So if I'm in an office, I have 100 colleagues, we are all connected with the API from Brivo Access into the two-end visitor database. If someone comes and visits me, types in JON, it pops up in 2N. I get a notice that somebody is there. I hit the code on my cell phone, and then the 2N or the Brivo panel that's hooked to the 2N will open up the door. Very simple connection with the API. Here's another example, Brivo Visitor. So this is an iPad kiosk. It replaces notepads and sign-in books at a desk. Again, same situation. If I have 100 colleagues, they all connect from the access control system to this system. If somebody comes and visits me, types in JON, registers, we get a registration or a log that they've come in, and I can get a text or an email message that they have actually signed in at the visitor tablet. So that's another example. And then the final example that we're seeing much more of is identity syncs with LDAP systems. So Okta, Microsoft Azure, G Suite, there is a significant desire not to do double entry. So if you're running your employees and you have 1,000 employees in Okta or in G Suite, and you're going through and you're entering them, you don't want to have to go to your access control system to enter them twice. You can put in a certain person in Okta, that person will appear in Brivo. If you remove them in Okta, you remove them from Brivo. So again, the concept is still there, but we're making it easier to use these systems that more and more organizations are using by allowing the access control to be an extension of those systems using the Brivo API. So that is a little overview of Brivo, our philosophy, and what we do. I'm now going to move to the software quickly. So this is Brivo Access. So I'll go through some key parts. We have several different versions or editions of the software. I'll go through some features that are in all of the editions here. So this is the event tracker. The event tracker is the heart of the system. So it tracks all of the events that have gone on throughout the account. This is an account. The account has sites. So you can see here, there's 10 sites around the world. And you can see the events that are going through. You can click the camera to get a video playback. Because of COVID, we don't have anybody in the site right now, but you can get a sense of what happens here. You will get a video playback eventually here. It looks like the internet's a little slow, but that is the concept, the integrated video there. So that's the event tracker. We also have event trends. As I mentioned before, the data has been designed in such a way to allow facility administrators to see trends in the data and to get in front of problems and issues before they happen. So COVID is the obvious example. If the attendance in the office is supposed to be low, but you have a spike here, where you can see here, this has gone up and there's a lot of things here going on. You can go in and immediately see everything that's happening. You can see the types of events. We have a warning event, which is yellow. We have a critical event, which is red, and then we have an informational event, which is blue. You can go in and see your critical events. If you need to make a note there to get that accountability that this has been dealt with, you can make a note. You can do all those kinds of things. You can clear the event, whatever it is that you need to do from a data perspective. We also give you the ability to classify the event. So as I mentioned, we have these 3 categories of events. But at Brivo, we don't want to be the ones to decide what's a critical event for you. We want you to be able to decide what's important to you. So if a door open too long is not critical, you could simply go and move it over here. If something over here was designed to be critical or warning, you can put it over here. So every single customer has the ability to design the system for themselves. So that's another thing that we've put into the system here. Device status, you're able to monitor the status of your devices all over the world, see the health of your devices. You're able to unlock a door if you choose to do so remotely. That door is unlocking. You can see it there, it unlocked and then closed. So all of those types of things. We have a full reporting suite within the application here. So you can see if you wanted to develop a report that showed users around the world. So a certain access group, a user, the Amsterdam site, door number 1, give me all of that information either in PDF format or in Excel. You can get it when you make the request or on a schedule every day, every week, every month, whatever the case may be. Users, we try to make this, again, the theme is very simple. So users here, you can see a sample user. The only thing you need to create a user is a first and last name. You can upload a photograph. If you want to put in information here, we have up to 60 custom fields where you can put in information like employee ID number, other kinds of things. And then you assign the user to an access group in order to give them access to the doors that they should have access to. So you can see here, this person is assigned in Amsterdam, 3 different doors, always access. There is no limit to the number of users, no limit to the number of sites, doors, administrators, groups, schedules, anything like that. So you could have a group on this account that's supposed to get 24-hour access to all the 10 sites all over the world, or you could have a group like someone like this person that has access in Amsterdam, let's say 9 to 5 on Mondays to door number 1, and everything in between. There's no limits at all. So those are some of the key features there. I'll just round this out with a couple of last things here. So this is something that I showed in the slides before. So this is our global view. So this will show all of the events all over the world. So it's for enterprise level accounts where you really want to see and get, again, from any computer or any tablet anywhere in the world, no operating system. You can see here, this is all browser based. So you've decided what events are critical for you. You can see those critical events here. You can see what type of event it was. You can see how it's trending since yesterday. You can see how your access events across the world are trending. We have 43% more access here than yesterday. And then last, you can dive in and go down and into a city or a certain site and see what critical events occurred. And again, same deal. You can go and you can clear them. You can make a comment, whatever it is that you need to do. But this is giving you the ability, again, like a GSOC from any connected device anywhere in the world, anytime. And then the last feature I'll show at the highest level of the product of Brivo Access is called Data Explorer. So I mentioned before the emphasis on data. This is giving the ability to create an unlimited amount of customized dashboards. So we really want Brivo Access to be a central hub, not just for security, but for the organization as a whole, for HR, for finance. How are certain buildings being used? What are the ways that my employees or my members or whatever the case may be are interfacing with my system? So here you can see a trend, at the Bethesda site, as an example, the attendance or the access has gone up, up, up. Now it's going down. You can see here, this is just a different type of view. If I wanted to see, I have the vast majority of my access events going on at the Colorado warehouse. I can get details on that. And again, this is just a small portion of what you can do. So you can see this reporting here. You can export that reporting if you want. But again, there is really no limit. Here's the access events on a map. All kinds of things that you can do with Data Explorer to solve questions that you may have in a way that works for you about how things are going across your facilities and the way they're being used. So with that, I will take a pause. We went through, again, a good amount of material on Brivo Access and just a taste of what the software is like. So Ron, I'll close that up and happy to cover any topic more or take any questions at all.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. That was very useful. And as everybody can see, it's really, the Brivo products are really very future oriented and are here to scale with your organization for many, many years. There are a couple questions here. I'll read them out to you.
Yep.
Top here is, so I'm rephrasing a bit, but what can you talk about around the options or solutions that you have in relation to migration from other systems? I'm assuming like the on-premise systems. If somebody has an on-premise system and they want to migrate to the cloud using the Brivo platform, do you have any good solutions for that?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much for the question. So we make it so the one requirement to migrate to Brivo are the panels that I showed. I didn't show also, we do work with Mercury panels as well. So in the case of Mercury, that hardware can be used. If it's something else, some other kind of controller, really we make it very easy. You're removing the legacy server. There's no additional IT infrastructure needed. You're putting in the appropriate Brivo panel. If everything is wired back, you're putting in the ACS 6000. And all you need is just a connection to the internet. From a reader perspective and a wiring perspective, Brivo will almost always, not 100% of the time, but almost always work with any reader or any device that has a Wiegand output or an OSDP output. So if you have, HID readers in place, we're a big HID partner. You're really just replacing that legacy server, putting in the cloud-based infrastructure that we have, connecting to the cloud, using all the existing wiring that you have in place, and that's it. It's plug and play. You're up and running. It's a very easy transition. We do it quite frequently every day.
Okay, thank you. And just for the listeners here, if you do want to go into that more in detail, please reach out to Jonathan or reach out to myself and Blue Ocean, and we can help you with a plan of how to make this transition based on your specific application. So next question here: what happens if there's no internet connection? If there's a temporary outage?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the question. So each Brivo panel has 250,000 identities at the panel level and 60,000 events. So the answer is, at the site, the system will work exactly as designed. All of the events will be stored at the panel, and the panel will have the latest configuration. The panels are downloading the latest configuration at the site at a maximum of every 5 minutes from the panel. It's either every 5 minutes or when there's an entry or an access event that comes in. So if it downloaded the latest configuration at 5 o'clock and somebody comes in at 5:01, it will download the latest configuration again. So when the outage occurs, the latest configuration is stored in the panel will function on its own. And then when the connectivity is restored, all of the events that took place will immediately go into the software, and any changes that were made in the software will immediately go into the panel so that they will take effect at the door. So it's really just the panel functioning on its own is the answer.
Okay, great. Next one here is for visitors. I guess this is related to like visitor management or visitors or contractors. Do they require to install any app on the phone in order to get that one-time access?
Yes, generally, yes. You would have to respond. Well, there's a couple ways. If you wanted to use a PIN code, you wouldn't. You could easily provision a temporary PIN code within the software. You could say PIN code 1235 is good from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock down to the minute. You can do that and then provision them the PIN code, and there would be no app. If you wanted to use the Brivo mobile application or the mobile entry with the phone that's not a PIN code, then yes, you would download the application for that purpose. When the invitation goes, it's very, very clear about how to download the app. It says, here's your invitation, your mobile credential. You immediately click that, go to the store, download the application, and you have it. From that point on, if you're invited again, either to the same permissions or to different permissions, you already have the application, and it's easy to add very, very quickly.
Okay, so that would be great for like contractors that are doing regular work on your site or something, or even somebody's coming for a couple of weeks. Awesome. So how about your applications around the world? Do you have some, currently, do you have some customers in Asia? Any applications or case studies in Asia?
We do. Yes, we are working with, we work with large companies all around the world. I'm happy to send case studies. We work with DocuSign. DocuSign is a published case study. We have applications around the world with them. We work with a company called The Trade Desk. We're around the world with them. NTT, large telecom company. We have deployments in Singapore with them. Really a good amount of companies in Asia. Harvey Beef in Australia, we're working with them, large enterprise company there. So yes, no shortage of projects in Asia for sure.
Okay, that's great. Now, this last question is really for me. Can you tell us or share, is there anything you can share with us a little bit about what's in the development pipeline for Brivo? How do you see the future at all? Is there anything you can share with us?
Absolutely. Thank you. So really the things I've described, we're really working on just making them better. What you've seen here is just the foundation of what we're going to build. So one specific example that's coming out soon is a feature called Brivo Snapshot. So Brivo Snapshot is our first real foray into artificial intelligence. This platform that you're seeing here is built as a foundation for artificial intelligence. So Brivo Snapshot takes care of a very easy need for large clients, a very easy to define need. So, I mentioned that we have the video integration. So a certain person came in yesterday at 5 o'clock, we have a 20-second clip or a 37-second clip of them. That's great. It eliminates the need to scroll through all kinds of video footage to find the exact event, but we want to get even better. So Snapshot takes the actual best shot of the face. So now when you have people scrolling through significant amounts of data to understand faces, we're going to have the snapshot there to provide the exact, face there. Mask detection, things like that are also included in Brivo Snapshot. So things like that, we're working on making our mobile applications better. So adding more features into the mobile applications on both sides. We are working on certain improvements to our hardware to make that smaller and to make that more capable. Again, additional enhanced data tools, additional features, just all kinds of different things that will make the overall product better.
Awesome. Okay. And maybe if you can go back to your PowerPoint, just put up your contact information quickly so people can take note of that. So look, that was great. And we're trying to keep it short today. We realize everybody has to get back to their work day. And again, if you, I will be sending this out to everybody. And if you do have questions or would like to talk about your specific application or how Brivo can work with you, feel free to reach out to Jonathan directly. You can also reach out to your Blue Ocean representative, and we'll be working with Jonathan closely. And we can talk about your specific application or your plan about how to migrate to a cloud-based system. Again, this is definitely the future. We at Blue Ocean are big believers in the cloud, and this is the way things are moving. And you get so much more value out of the system as a whole, which is great. So once again, Jonathan, I wanted to thank you for taking this time today. I know it's your evening time. And again,
Absolutely.
Thank you for everybody for joining us today. And again, we will continue to be in touch.
Thank you so much, Ron. Thank you for having me and for your partnership. And thank you, everybody, for attending and for your interest. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so we're closing now, and thank you, everybody.